So click on File, go down to Export, and then select All Tracks as Audio Files. Select a good place to store your files. I would recommend creating a separate folder for these. For the range, select Trim Silence at File End. For the format, choose WAV, bit depth 24-bit. You want to bypass effects plugins, so check that box, but uncheck the box below that includes volume, pan and automation. Leave the normalize at overload protection only, and you don't want to add the resulting files to the project browser, so leave that unchecked. At the bottom there, where it says custom, I would type in firstly the song name and perhaps the artist, and then the BPM of the song. Then just hit export and you're done. So all of the tracks that you see on the screen in front of you will be bounced individually. What you want to be aware of though is that your buses will not be bounced. So if you've got some reverbs on an external bus or something like that, they won't be a separate audio file. So if you do want to keep those, then you'll need to bounce them separately, alright? That's it. Okay, for those of you not in such a hurry, here is the slightly extended version with bells and whistles. Click on File, go down to Export again. There's nothing too much extra to say about this. And then All Tracks as Audio Files, exactly the same as what you did before. So just select a good place to put your files, usually in your same project file but maybe a separate folder, labelled stem bounce or something like that, and the name of the tune and the artist. For the range, this is interesting because it will cut any silence off the end of your audio files. I mean, the only benefit of that is saving space on the computer, but you may as well do it because there's not really any benefit of keeping all of that empty space at the end of your audio files. So I'd always leave that set as it is. What is interesting though, what you do need to remember is that it will bounce the file all the way to this line here, which is your project end line. It's not like a normal bounce where it would follow your yellow cycle bar at the top of the screen. It will actually follow this. So because you don't want all this empty space, just bring that back just like that to the end of your project. So all your audio files will be a maximum of that length. So you can completely ignore the yellow cycle bar at the top for this type of export. So let's go back to File, Export, All Tracks as Audio Files. Now we've got the files a good length. For the format, I would always choose WAV just because sometimes PCs don't like AIFF files. WAV is just a good standard that works everywhere, so stick with that. There's not any difference in quality between that and AIFF, but it is more accepted. So for your bit depth, use your project bit depth, so what you've been recording at. Usually this would be 24-bit. So you'll want to bypass all of your effects plugins, because if someone else is going to do the mix, they're going to want to use their own plugins, etc., which they won't be able to do because all of your plugins will be already on the sound and they won't be able to remove them. So you always want that box checked if you're exporting it to someone else to mix. One thing to be aware of though, if there is a particular sound that's very, very key to the mix that you have already and you really like and you think it's integral, then I would advise bouncing that as a separate file. So whoever's mixing your song will have that to work from as well. Volume and pan automation, I would say leave that box unchecked because, again, whoever's mixing the tune, they will want to add their own volume and pan automation. Overload protection only is the best setting here in most cases Normalize would actually bring up the level of all the audio files to the point of just under clipping, which there's no need to do. But overload protection only just prevents clipping. So it will turn down the file if it's about to clip, but it won't touch it otherwise. And under here, add resulting file to project browser. That will put these files you're just about to export into your project file browser, which you don't really want because it will just clog it up unnecessarily. So I would leave that unchecked. So down here you can create custom patterns for naming the tracks. As it's set now, track name, as here, Chorus Vox High, will appear for the audio on that track, followed by custom, which is whatever you type in this box below. So in here it's handy if you write something like the artist name, the song name, and the BPM. So this is called Bully, and it gives you an example just here. This way the mixing engineer will have all the information they need on every track. It'll be what's on the track, it will be the name of the project, and it will be the BPM, which is always really handy to have if you're mixing. And there you go. Just hit export and it will export. Remember that your buses aren't getting exported, just the audio files before they get sent to the bus. That's it. Thanks for watching. I hope it's been useful. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And head over to our website, mymixmaster.co.uk. Bye bye.